the person that I wanted to be most like is a female, and it's Whoopi Goldberg, which is the reason. But you didn't let me get there because you're trying to start some mess, boo boo. Then that's why you by yourself, ma'am, and that's why you by yourself, ma'am. The person that the comedian that I always wanted to be like was Whoopi Goldberg. At the time when I started, there was no comedians or even people that looked like me. When I grew up, I grew up with like Marsha Brady and them and Partridge Family and all that. We had all of them. And then any black people we saw was like real light skin, you know what I'm saying? Jane Kennedy and them. And we thought they was pretty, but we never thought we looked like them. I didn't see nobody that looked like me till I saw Thelma on Good Times. You understand me? And then I was like, now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's a sister who's from the hood who has pride in herself. So when I saw Whoopi Goldberg with them dreads, okay, and she did her one woman show, I was like, wow, blown away.
Hey, welcome to KROSS BARZ. You got Tanae in the building. I'm here with my co-host who is Big what?
Big O, yeah. You said my name. Say part of my name. It's all good. It's all good.
Big O. And we have our special guest, and her name is Miss Edwonda White. So give it up for Miss Edwonda White. Comedian slash singer slash actress slash. We might call you Edwonda slash White. You know what I'm saying? You get on.
You feel me?
In the things that you do. All right.
Okay. So now let's do it this way. Miss White, let's do this. Where can the people find you at? What are some of the hashtags, things that you have going on? So when we put the clip up, we put all the little things down there so they can click on those things.
Okay, well, you can, you know what? It's Edwonda White, and you can find me on Instagram at Edwonda's World. That's EDWONDASWORLD at Edwonda's World. And that's on my Instagram. And anywhere that you type in Edwonda White, it'll pop up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at Edwonda White on YouTube, Edwonda White on Facebook, Edwonda White on TikTok, but then I'm at Edwonda's World on Instagram.
What about Twitter? Do you do Twitter or no Twitter?
Twitter too. I don't really mess with Twitter that much. It's kind of weird to me, but I do have a Twitter account.
Okay.
And everything, you know what I'm saying? I don't mess with Twitter that much.
Come on. Every comedian's supposed to have a cute Twitter.
I like Instagram.
I seen her Twitter. I seen her Twitter though. You just like a couple days ago, you made a post and it was about Black Lives Matter and, you know, are we still human? And, you know, like why is you think still happening?
I'll be on there, but I'm not really like, I don't even think I got like 1,000 followers or something on there. I don't know. I don't be talking to really nobody, but so I every now and then I'll put my show up, or I said something when Dante Wright got killed or whatever, and I murdered, and it, you know, prompted me to tweet something because it was really, really like messing with my spirit. And so that probably is the tweet that you're talking about. We're in the middle of George Floyd, you know what I'm saying? That right there had me just really feeling some type of way. And I put that tweet out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you're talking about Black Lives Matter. When you do your comedy, are there certain subjects you are like taboo and don't want to talk about for the sake of politics or something like that? Or would Black Lives Matter be something that you would kind of integrate into your show to talk about, you know, certain things?
Real talk, like me, I do have rules of what I won't talk about. Most comedians don't. I do, but I stay real politically correct because I don't like to hurt or offend anyone. Now, in my personal life, what I put on my tweets, I'm going to keep it real and say what I got to say. But as a comedian, I really don't want to put people in an uproar. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get people mad. I want people laughing. So when it's something serious like, you know, Black Lives Matter and people, you know, getting killed and murdered and how they do our Black men and stuff, I really don't see where that's funny. So I just leave that all the way out. You know what I mean? And so you feel what I'm saying? But I save that for my Twitter page, for my Instagram, making statements, memes, videos to let them know I'm conscious and I'm keeping it real and I'm feeling what's going on.
Okay. So now question, because I had some juicy questions, but this is awesome.
Oh, juicy ones.
Yeah, juicy questions. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, how do you feel about, you know, female comedians? I'm not saying anything negative, but I loved how Monique came out and says, I'm the most accomplished female comedian of our generation. She has these accolades to back it up. She's not trying to just speak off the cuff, but she went at Netflix and said that, you know, how are you justifying giving another comedian of another race or demographic certain money where they are not as accomplished? Whereas she has this accomplishment, and a lot of, especially from our community, a lot of people start going at Monique. But how do you feel about when somebody look at the worth of the Black female comic? How do you feel, and how would you navigate in that particular space?
First of all, I love Monique. I think she's a beautiful person in her spirit and her heart. And I feel that I'm just going to make a generic statement, and I'm going to say that any person who feels that they have value has every right to speak up for what they feel they deserve. And I'll leave that there. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're asking, does that help female comedians, or does it? I don't know what you're exactly asking me. I'm not going to speak negatively or positively toward any of that situation, but I feel that every person has every right. And
Okay.
she is
Right.
very, very, very accomplished, and
Mhm.
she has the receipts. You understand? And
Absolutely.
so, what someone's value of one person is, uh, can be based on quite a few things or whatever. And if you feel that you're not being valued, I don't care if you're a Black woman, I don't care if you're a purple woman, you should
Right.
speak up about it. If you know
Yeah.
that you're doing the same job as somebody else and you look at their check stub and it's different than yours, you need to be up in that office saying, hey, excuse me, I'm a VP of the so and so. What, you know what I'm saying? I went to Harvard and he went to whatever. Why is he getting paid more? Because he's a man? Or why is she getting paid more? Because she's white? Or I'm
Right.
feeling some type of way. So you can never blame a person for feeling that they have value. And that's what we as Black women have a responsibility to do, and speak up on things like that.
So
True.
so you answer the question because, you know, as entertainers, it's just like, can you pack a house? You know, man or female, white or Black, can you pack this many? We have 400 seats. Can you pack them all in? And if you can, you say, okay, this is my rate, because all comedians will have a certain rate. But let's say if you went to the Comedy Cellar and they said, okay, Miss White, we're going to give you, you know, $2,000 for this show. And then you find out that someone that's newbie, somebody just came off the farm, and they stepped in and they said, okay, we're going to give them, you know, $3,000 per show. And you're like, wait a minute, I have this under my belt, I have this under my belt, this under my belt. What's going on? And that was more or less like, okay, you're not going to knock her hustle, but you will speak up about it. So you kind of answer that.
My whole thing is, well, I don't know if I per se would speak up in terms of whatever. You pick your battles, okay?
Okay.
As any profession, whether it's entertainment or not, um, trying to prove your value to someone else or whatever. Like I say, I'm not speaking to this particular issue because
Mhm.
that is her issue and that is her value. Okay. Does she deserve to be valued? The point is yes. Is she very well decorated? Yes. She has a lot of awards. She's, has an Oscar. And you can't name too many female comedians that could say that. Okay.
Said that
So
right.
don't
Too
discredit,
many
don't sleep
female,
on what she
Black
bringing
female,
to the
anybody.
table is the point. But
Sure.
you're, like I say, you can't force me into speaking on an issue that is not my direct issue, is what I'm saying. And I want to be clear
Gotcha.
on that.
Right.
I do
Gotcha.
support anyone, and I specifically support people who value themselves and who are not having it. However, we do have comedians who are automatically valued by the virtue of the fact that they exist. And is that fair? No. Okay. The point is, I can't make somebody value me. Like I say, if say a white comedian is doing something and they have this many followers or so and so, that would not discredit the fact if I have an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's the point. The point is, female comedians, period, Black, white, green, or purple, a lot of times get paid less than the men. Okay. Now, can we say,
Mhm.
oh, well, they shouldn't get paid because the men may get more people in the seats? Well, that's not my judgment call because I'm not the
Right.
one that's paying the money. If Tanae want to book me for her birthday party and want to give me $50, that's my thing if I say yeah. Or if I tell her,
Right.
girl, you're gonna need to give me a couple of racks if you think I'm gonna be come up in there, and then either she get them racks or she don't. But guess what? It ain't gonna be happy birthday up in there if you ain't trying to get, you see what I'm talking about? That's just like your cousin
Right.
your cousin do hair, and you come over there, girl, I want this and I want this and I want that. And you ain't trying to pay the money. First of all, I got
Right.
clients, okay? This, you know what I mean? So value comes from the supply and demand. Okay. And when you in the right to demand something, you need to speak up and say, no, boo-boo. Your little $20 ain't working right here. Now, I love you and I know you only got $20, but guess what? You cannot choose when your appointment is. I'll do yours on Sunday and then you give me your $20. Now that's negotiations. And that's not that your cousin was devaluing you. It's that she just only had $20 and she needed her hair hooked up.
Gotcha.
So it's about respect. It's about respect.
Oh, you put the respect on the name.
Respect the craft. First of all,
absolutely.
Respect the craft. Respect the resume. Respect something, and don't be giving people less than what they should get. It is disrespectful. That's for anything. So
that's for anything.
You know, and Big O trying to rope me into some stuff, and I'm trying to give him you know what I'm saying? He's trying to give me
No. And that's why I even presented in a trying to say in respectful and just say your opinion of this because it's older.
He's not answering that.
You know, look, it's older, but it's like it still goes to I'm at a certain level, so you should be paying me on this level. And it's like
that's in any profession.
Correct.
Any profession should,
but
you know what I mean?
It was different for me to see people of our hue attacker, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, that's because they don't understand. They don't understand what really goes on. They think we just wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like they really think comedians just wake up and become Eddie Murphy. Okay. Correct. You don't just wake up and put two jokes together and become Dave Chappelle. You don't. Okay. You work, you grind, you hustle, you eat crow, you do whatever you have to do. And when you put the work in, when you are decorated like this woman is, she's not in here just talking stuff for no reason. She's saying, I should be valued. Now, some people were coming at her, and I'm saying some people, I'm not saying me. Some people were coming at her wrong because they didn't understand where the place she was coming from. She's saying, I'm being disrespected. Stand with me. And some people was like, well, why should we stand with you? You know what I'm saying? We watch our Netflix and you ain't paying our Netflix. Okay, but then don't get in it if you ain't trying to be. But guess what? If she would have got what she wanted, it would have benefited so many people. When you win the struggle, people want to march with you, but they don't want to march with you when you in the struggle because they scared or don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, you just have to look at that so many different ways. I admire any woman or any person who stands up for what they think they deserve and stuff like that. And I think it's important, but we also, as entertainers or as people who have jobs, we have to pick our battles and we have to understand what we need to do, or is it, you know, we have to choose when to do that and how to approach it. And so some people were coming at her because they said we like what she said, but she went about it wrong. So a lot of people were doing that. But that's because they don't know, they don't understand what she's been through. Right. You know, so if you're not qualified to speak on it, you should just say, well, I don't know. You know what I mean?
And that's where,
because you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot more to that story that many of you don't know.
Right. So that's why I asked a black female comedian their take, because I would look at you as being maybe an expert versus me, the novice.
I won't say an expert. I won't say an expert specifically on the situation.
No, not the situation.
From the
just
outside
because,
looking in.
Yeah, you're a female, you're a comedian, you're a veteran. So I'm looking at those where I'm none of those. So for me to get on a platform and actually give my opinion on it, like I wouldn't want someone to speak on something that I would consider myself an expert at. And I'm like, nah, you sound crazy. So that's why I was like, you know, how do you feel about it? Because you're an expert in that particular genre and field.
Right.
Now,
I do. Go ahead. You got something?
Oh yeah, because you know, I think we were talking previously before we hit record and everything, but we were talking about you were performing with some other females in a group. Can you tell me more about your performance? Because you said you were not, it was singing, and I was like, wait a minute, sister. You know, I haven't seen it, so I want to know more about your performance and this.
I'm not really sure what you're asking me, but before I decided to do the show, or they asked me or whatever, they asked, was there any topics that I was uncomfortable speaking on or whatever, and I said no. So I'm open to that. I believe we talked about the type of comedy that I do or whatever. Did we
performance
discuss any of that?
With 4 comedians, you were going on tour and you guys were going to sing. It was the first time that 4 female comedians would actually go about singing.
Oh, you misunderstood me. No, we're not touring. We're not touring.
Okay.
I have a new song out and it's called Ain't No Joke.
Correct.
And the video is trending right now on YouTube, and it's called Ain't No Joke, and it is for female comedians, but you misunderstood that it's not a comedy tour. It's
a singing
song about women's empowerment, and we released it in Women's History Month to show that we ain't no joke. The chorus is, I laugh and I play, but I ain't no joke. I'm grinding all day and I stay woke. You know what I'm saying? The song is really hot, and it's 4 Black female comedians, and all of them sing. It's Dale Harrison, Janae Thompson, Crystal Powell, and myself. All of them sing. All of them are comedians, and that's why we had the double meaning of Ain't No Joke.
Ain't no joke. Gotcha.
But the song's not funny. It is kind of funny. I mean, think about it, what we're saying. But the song was not meant to be funny. The song was meant to empower Black women and let them know that we're queens. And Big O, if you hear it, we have a verse in there specifically for the Black men to let them know that all Black women do not bash Black men. Even though sometimes y'all don't choose us, even though sometimes y'all don't choose us, we always choose you.
Absolutely. Say that. I think that's bars on that one. That's bars on that one.
She's been singing
for a minute.
Big O, what you got to say over there in the middle of space? You in the middle of the moon.
Listen. I'm here hovering. Hovering.
You hovering up in the moon.
Yeah, right. With this thing right here.
But turn your head all backwards.
Yeah, I didn't turn backwards because I ain't want no smoke or anything. But now you didn't touch on a whole lot of things. One, I want to know everything good, because we know that song was a rap song. Will you get in trouble publishing and things like that? That's straight.
No. Okay. No, it's my song. It's an original song. The tracks are
Ain't
original.
No Joke is a song from Eric B. and Rakim back in the 80s.
No, their song is called I Ain't No Joke. My song is called Ain't No Joke.
Ain't no joke.
It's different. No. I own the song.
Thank you.
I wrote the song. It's an original. And his song is called I Ain't No Joke. He's from New York. He's from the East Coast.
That's right.
Whatever.
Absolutely. East Coast. Yes. Okay.
And it is copywritten, and it is an entity of ours. So yes.
So now my question.
He has the word I in front of his.
I. Okay.
She did research. See.
Okay, got you on that, right? So now you spoke about, you choose us Black men. How do you feel about this man, Kevin Samuels? Have you heard of this gentleman?
I do know Kevin Samuels, and it's so funny that you bring it up because I'm married, and me and my husband were talking about Kevin Samuels the other night. We was laughing at him. Actually, I love Kevin Samuels. He's hilarious. I do jokes about him and stuff, and I will be doing some jokes on the show tonight about him. Actually. It's so funny, how you just tell the women, that they think they look good and all of that. They think they 9s, 10s, 8s, whatever. He'd be like, no, you are too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is raw.
He be breaking down their self-esteem and all that. But the truth is, Big O, for real. But what's funny is that he's telling the truth, not to hurt their feelings, but to let them know that there's some improvements in the attitude that they have. You know what I mean? A lot of these women are demanding certain things from these men that they don't have. Now, if you have those things, you know what I'm saying? Say Jay Tanae is a businesswoman. She's a radio personality. She's beautiful. She knows how to cook. She can bring a lot to the table. She deserves to ask for those same things in return. You know what I'm saying? And then it has nothing to do. Beauty comes from within. It ain't you could be beautiful and not be considered quote unquote stereotypically pretty. You know what I'm saying? But because these women come at him like, I want a man who makes $6 figures and $500,000. Then he break them down. Okay, if that's what you want, then you're gonna need to be up here. And guess what? You are not. You know what I'm saying? So he makes me laugh. He keep it so real with some of these women who have an attitude who think just because they cute or whatever. He like, yeah, you cute, but you ain't $500,000 cute though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't Beyonce. You ain't whoever you think. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what? Like he told that girl, what are you on a scale of 1 to 10? She tried to say
use 7.
Nope. Yeah, you can't use 7.
No, he said you can't use 7.
She said an 8, and he told her Beyonce an 8. And then she's like, do you think you an 8? You mean I'm not an 8? Are you Beyonce though? Like you are not Beyonce. So guess what? You're not an 8. Okay, 6. And then he was like, well, that's more like reality. So he just broke her down, but she needed that because she was thinking in her mind, and she kept saying stuff like somebody was beneath her. Oh, I try to date men under me or whatever. First of all, ain't no man under you. If a man trying to pay you some attention, either you like him or you don't.
Or you
ain't
don't.
Nobody, you know, if he ain't for you, that's fine. But for you to think that somebody is beneath you, okay, you need a reality check, boo-boo, because you ain't all that anyway. If you think so highly of yourself, then you think you better than a whole nother human being, regardless of what the man made. So I love him. I love him, and I love me some black men, and I love my sisters, and I want you guys to lift yourselves up and really know that you are queens, and you do deserve to have that man that you desire, but do not ask more than what you're willing to bring to the table.
Okay.
That reminds me of you ugly. You ugly anyway.
Oh my God, you was ugly anyway. You was ugly anyway. You was ugly anyway. Yes. That's hilarious.
So
anyway,
because
girl, he's so fine when we with him. He fine when we with him, but he break up with us. You was ugly anyway.
Yeah, she was singing it. I remember that. That was so funny.
That's funny.
So when I've seen, because I just stumbled on him there because he was catching a lot of traction. I was like, what's this guy? I never heard. And I clicked on. I was like, oh my. And then I was like, okay. It was like a guilty pleasure. Like I play in my house, so I have.
He's not no random guy that's just giving advice. He's certified. You know what I mean? He's studied and he's worked with singles ministries, and he keeps it real. He's spiritually based, but he keeps it real. He'll curse and everything.
He's spiritually based?
He ain't trying to say he don't minister or nothing like that. But he's just saying, he'll ask, are you a Christian or do you desire a Christian man, this and that? Because he wants to know, and he has that background. But he keeps it real too. You know what I mean? He cursed him out and be like,
that's why I didn't think that.
Like, get off my phone. You know what I'm saying? So I really like him, and we need more people like him. Except for we don't need. I'm talking about more people who keeping it real and have funny content and interesting stuff.
It's crazy that really you're saying it as a black woman. That's why.
As a black woman,
as a black woman saying that, and from what a few people that I spoke, I can't say that I spoke to a lot of people.
Well, that's because a lot of the females that say they don't like him, it's because they know they have a lot of work to do. But the women who are together and have stuff like me and Jay Tanae, we can look at him for the entertainment value and understand that by him, I don't think like a lot of women, he just respect women and said, no, them women go on there disrespecting themselves, talking to him all crazy, talking about who they too good for. And then he break them down and let them know, no, sweetie, you need to work on you, okay? And he breaks them down physically because of most of these women who talking stuff, or they think that they're physically beautiful, which means because they pretty, they deserve XYZ. No, you deserve it when you are willing to be a good woman and handle your business, not just because you cute. Okay. Yes, cute and $1 wouldn't even get you a cup of coffee. So now what? So get you, I'm saying, you can't even get a Gatorade. Talking about what? You know what I'm saying? So you better get you a job, get you some education, build your own business. You know what I'm saying? Be physically fit if you want to do that. If not, then be a beautiful person. That part. And you're going to get you a beautiful man who's going to love you and see you in that place you are in. If you're in a broken place, some men like to go in and take you in that broken place and help you. Right. So don't give up or feel like, oh, because I'm not cute, I'm not going to get this type of man. That's not true. It's some men who make all kind of money that have wives that are just really plain Jane and regular or whatever, and they love their dirty draws. You understand what I'm talking about? So it's just certain things. We talking about superficial men who want the eye candy or whatever, but even that gets old, and that's why those men have second and third wives. Because guess what? No matter how beautiful you look, somebody could still get tired of you. And what?
That's right. Say that.
Okay. All right. So how long you been married?
Oh, a long time. I met my husband when I was in 7th grade.
Nah, I said, how long you been married? I don't tell them how long you been married.
In other words, that was my way of saying none of your business. But
okay, I wanted you to say
anyway,
keep it all the way 100.
I wanted you to keep
it all the way 100.
I'm gonna do you like Kevin Samuels. Look, ma'am. I'm gonna do you like Kevin Samuels. Look, ma'am. That's why you by yourself, ma'am. Because you're hard-headed. That's why you by yourself. That's why you by yourself, ma'am.
I was married now.
So she said she was married earlier.
We have 3 kids. Our oldest is 33. Our middle one is in his 20s, and my daughter is 19. We've been together a long time, and so we have a very great and solid marriage. We love one another, and he's a really, really an amazing man. And I'm very proud to say that I'm married to a kind and wonderful Black king. And I'm just blessed to have him. So if that's what you're getting at, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't from there. It was almost really asking about your work, family life balance. You know, because let's say if you've been doing this for some time. So I've seen you in college. So I've been out of college for some time. So now I'm asking that.
Say the time. How long it's been?
No, I can tell you, but I don't want to give away what her stuff is. You know what I mean? So
well, it don't make no difference. I'm saying, like I say, it don't make no difference. I'm getting flustered. I mean, getting.
That's what I do to the ladies. That's what I do.
No, you don't. These lights. These lights. He ain't got nothing. You know what, ma'am? You know what, ma'am? That's why you by yourself, ma'am. That's why you're gonna die alone. That's why you're gonna die alone, man.
That's what I got.
You know what, man? He don't care, girl. He don't care. He like, no. Oh, you think you're an 8? No, you're a 5.
Like, no,
you're average at best.
Oh my God.
You're average at best. He be going off on him. Believe me. Look, ma'am, that's why you by yourself. But anyway, Big O, let me tell you, you were on to something when you were talking about the Black women, whatever. Now we need more. You stopped me when I said we needed more of these guys like that, because we need women to start searching themselves. Okay. Starting to realize that they are whole and okay while they're single. A lot of women always be thinking that they need a man to feel like, you know, whatever. There's single women who are very happy choosing to be single. And they choose to be single because they don't want to go through all that drama. Now, a real woman's desire is to find a man that would treat her like she deserved to be treated and to help her, but not to complete her, not to, I need a man or I'm not a whole person. You are a whole person. You need somebody to come in to enhance your life. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's going to enhance, not that, I'm not a complete woman without
I'm nothing without
man.
you.
And that's why guys like Kevin Samuels are very important. We need more guys like him that are out there on the internet telling these women stuff instead of these Derek Jacksons. Now we ain't going to talk about that, but telling people one thing and doing another one.
And doing
Kevin Samuels don't be telling people, he don't say this is what I do and I'm the best man on earth. You call me and ask me what do you think I should do? Well, how what size do you wear? What kind of this and what kind of job do you have? He trying to get information, not to discredit you. You know, he's like, okay, let me get a piece of the pie. Okay, well, what's wrong with just dating the average man? Well, why can't I have a man that because you don't look like Beyonce? Now, listen, ma'am, you know what I'm saying? He break it down. And we need that kind of stuff because it's funny, it's entertaining, and it makes people think. But we don't need people telling us one thing and using God for that benefit, and you selling books and selling
That was
snake
awesome.
oils or whatever. And these women are putting their faith in these people, thinking if they follow these steps, then they will have a man like so and so. Everyone makes mistakes, and I'm not judging anyone, but we need more people who are going to be consistent in what they really about.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and when you're talking about knowing yourself as a woman, as a person, and all of that, when you were in your comedy lane and you were going throughout your years, and you've done Comic View and all these other things, um, did you ever find yourself at a crossroads where you were asked to choose this or this? Like, you know how they say the industry is, and people can actually do stuff for money, or I'll give you this, like special favors. Did you ever run into anything like that made you kind of like, like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yes, well, nothing ever made me want to stop doing comedy, but
Okay.
the industry is it is very corrupt, you know what I mean? And if you're a person who has moral fiber, and there's certain things that you don't really do or don't want to do, then sometimes it's difficult. You have to make those difficult choices. And then they'll say, "Hey, will you do this?" And you be like, "I'll never do that." And they say, "Well, how about if we give you this much?" And then you start thinking, "Well, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? That's not really
I'm
that
just
bad.
scared.
It ain't really that bad, da da da." That's when you come to the quote unquote crossroads that you mentioned. And that happens all the time. But to me, I had a philosophy that all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to take my soul to down the road. I ain't going to hell for nobody. Okay. If I go, I just end up there because I did something, but I ain't going for nobody else. Okay. So because of that, all that stuff doesn't interest me. I do things
Okay.
because I stand by it, or I enjoy it. And do I make money from some things that I do? Yeah. But that's not my motivation for doing it. And that's why I've had been able to have longevity. That's why during the
Mm.
pandemic, while nobody else was really doing a whole lot, I was still doing videos. I was still doing my working on my album. I was creating funny songs. The first song I did was called "Don't Get the Corona." And that "Don't Get the Corona" became very popular. It doesn't have that many views on YouTube, but people like Linnell, people like Sherry Shepherd, people like Tahir
Mm-hmm.
Moore, and different people that have like millions of followers on their Instagram shared it on their page. And so it got millions of views. And
Wow.
that's how I ended up doing my album, because that little funny song, I was trying to figure out a way to be funny or be relevant while we were stopped down and couldn't do comedy, and came up with that song. If you don't want to catch corona, you better stay your butt in the house. You know what I'm saying? So I made that song, and that created a whole new career for me. See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? See how
Wow.
God
That's
works?
social
You know what I'm
media.
saying? You
Yep.
thinking
Question.
you can't
So
do
see
one
you,
thing. He
you
shut
dropping these
one
little
door.
things.
He said
He
you
shut
just gonna
one
make
door
room.
and he opened another one. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so
Yes.
you,
Yes.
so I assume, because that's what I'm gonna do, you like Little Duval's "Living My Best Life," because
Oh, I
that
love
one
it. I
went
love it.
crazy.
I love
Okay.
that song, and I love when comedians are able to create other streams of income and use
Sure.
their other talents. I think the
Yes.
song's amazing. The video, I love the message that it has. And so, yeah, I think more comedians should take a page out of Lil Duval's
Duval's.
book,
Yeah,
because it
because when
was
you said
very
that, that's what I thought
lucrative
of. I was like,
for
oh,
him.
okay,
Yes,
got you. Yeah.
a lot of them don't do it because, for one thing, they can't write the song, and then some of them can't sing or do whatever. But little Duval is kind of
Yeah.
he had access to a lot of people that knew him, and
Mhm.
the rappers and stuff like that. He's just a that type of a guy, and they got with it, and it was a great tune. And I think that was awesome.
I think
Yeah.
when I heard several songs before, a little like I don't want to say now, like dropping something off. But what I'm asking you, not asking, but another portion is that a lot of comedians over time are multifaceted. They're very talented in other areas. So one that just comes to mind is Eddie Murphy. I think he's the greatest comedian of all time, in my opinion. Some people say Richard Pryor. I was like, that was a little bit before my time. I, seen some of it, but I think like Eddie Murphy's Raw and Delirious is there, and then everybody else is like near it. So when you talk about singing, I didn't really like Eddie Murphy sing. My girls like to party all the time.
It's unfair, but even though some people don't like Eddie singing or whatever, he loves to sing and he has fun doing it. And even though we didn't really, think he's the best singer, I really like that song "Party All the Time."
I did too.
And it wasn't like he was off key or nothing. It was, what I mean?
No,
but nobody would be like, "Oh, he Luther Vandross," or nobody like that.
Wait a minute.
He knows that he's not.
Jamie Foxx can really sing.
He loves to sing.
But Jamie Foxx can really sing.
Jamie Foxx can really sing.
So when
he had an album, Pastor Cavassier, and all that kind of stuff, he can really sing.
Yeah.
And
do you have
so there's a difference.
You have a favorite comedian? Who inspired you? Who's your favorite comedian? I know you have the comedians that love comedians.
Okay, it's kind of unfair to ask any comedian who's their favorite because we know all of them. And then but I'm gonna answer. But I have to kind of do a little disclaimer before I do it. But the thing of it is it's unfair to say who's the best comedian. Okay. Because you can't say who's the best, because you have to say the best at what in order to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do a few of them and I'm going to justify with what I like about them. Okay. Now, the strongest personality in my mind as a comedian in my life has been Bernie Mac. Okay.
What?
Strongest personality in my life. I toured with Bernie. Okay. He's been the strongest personality in my life. Okay.
In our college.
The comedian that I admire the most, Eddie Murphy. Okay. I admire Eddie Murphy, not because I'm discrediting Richard Pryor. I admire Eddie Murphy because he changed comedy for me. He was the new wave when he came out with Raw. He was the comedian that I watched. That was my era. I don't know nothing about no Richard Pryor. I know his old albums. I listened to it after the fact, but I didn't sneak in no basement. I wasn't even alive probably then. I don't know. That was Eddie Murphy was the man for me. He was the one who said, wow. He had a different type of voice. He talked about his family. He talked about barbecues. He talked about real stuff that we could relate to, which gave birth to all the comedians that we see. Eddie Murphy changed the game for all of them. Now, if you asked Eddie Murphy, he might say Red Fox. He might say Richard Pryor. You see what I'm saying? So the person I admire the most is Eddie Murphy. Now, my favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle.
What?
Yes.
There's no woman?
Hey.
Wait a minute. Don't choose for me.
Listen.
Don't choose for me. I'm not done. Don't choose for me.
I'm not choosing.
I know, but you see now it's looking
I can't even ask. I got you.
See, look at you. No, you can't ask.
That's what we need Kevin Samuels. We need Kevin Samuels.
I'm not even finished.
We need Kevin Samuels on the Get Kevin on the phone.
I'm not even finished, and you starting that stuff.
Put it in.
I didn't get to it. I said I'm naming them. Okay. I said you can't just say my favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle. And why? Because I think he's a genius. I think he's a genius. I love the way he does comedy. I love the way he tells a story, and the way he did that, breaking down the gay community in the car or whatever. I've never seen anything like that ever about how he's just a genius. Okay. Now, the person that I wanted to be most like is a female, and it's Whoopi Goldberg, which is the reason, but you didn't let me get there because you're trying to start some mess. Boo-boo. Then that's why you by yourself, ma'am. And that's why you by yourself, ma'am. The person that the comedian that I always wanted to be like was Whoopi Goldberg. At the time when I started, there was no comedians or even people that looked like me. When I grew up, I grew up with like Marsha Brady and them and Partridge Family and all that. We had all of them. And then any black people we saw was like real light skin, you know what I'm saying? Jane Kennedy them. And we thought they was pretty, but we never thought we looked like them. I didn't see nobody that looked like me till I saw Thelma on Good Times. You understand me? And then I was like, now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's a sister who's from the hood who has pride in herself. So when I saw Whoopi Goldberg with them dreads, okay, and she did her one woman show, I was like, wow, blown away. Okay. And part of the reason, I don't know if I wear a dress because of that. I just did it because one time I was doing a TV taping and I didn't want my hair to sweat out. So I braided my hair, but now I have twists. But she is the one that I wanted to be like because I had no one else that I could admire. Okay. The one person who I've related mostly to was another female, which is Marsha Warfield. Okay.
Night Court.
And that's because she was on Night Court. She worked with Eddie. She was like the female that was always on all the shows with Richard Pryor and them back in the day. She was always on the roast and everything. And I'm like, wow, if I could just meet her, if I could just be like that, back in the day, it was something to work for, you know what I mean? And now I know Marsha personally. I've never met Whoopi. And but Marsha is an amazing person. She still does stand up. And if you had let me finish, you would have known that there's no way that I could say who was the greatest and not mention no female. So mine was whatever. Let me tell you something. It's a bunch of comedians that are funny and hilarious. And if you tell me, I'm saying, there's so many that I can name them all. And I love all of them. Anybody who ever touched the mic. I don't care if they was funny or if they wasn't funny. You know what I'm saying? And the person I miss the most, which is the person I miss the most, is Ronaldo Ray. And Ronaldo was like the godfather for me. He put me on game. He took me around with him. I miss him so much. I didn't want to mention it because it kind of made me cry. But like I say, he's the one who really put me on. And I was more of a clean comedian. He was dirty, and he told me, don't you ever start cursing and doing all that stuff. You good. You gonna shine the way you do it. You know what I'm saying? You innocent, you cool, this and that. Don't make them change you into these nasty girls out here. He told me that. And he was dirty. His comedy was so dirty, but that's the way he lived his life. He was just funny and gritty. But he told me, don't ever do that. And so I named all of mine, even though Big O was trying to start some stuff. And that's why you by yourself, man. And that's why you by yourself,
ma'am.
Appreciate
Listen, ma'am. And that's why you're going to die alone, ma'am.
Hey, we're going to go ahead and just a few more questions before we wrap it up. You got things to do tonight. And with the show, actually, go ahead and mention your show while you're at it tonight.
I don't know when this is gonna air, but tonight we're doing the Mo Money show, and it's gonna be amazing because we have Eric Mack. It's hosted by Jamal Doman. He's from Detroit, you know what I'm saying, from the D or whatever. And you know what? Where's Jamal from? Oh, is he from Philly? I think he's from Philly. I'm sorry, Philly. Why did I say Detroit? Because I'm doing something with. Okay, don't get the city wrong. But Jamal Doman is doing the Mo Money show tonight. No, it's not a clean show. I'm gonna be clean because I always am, but everybody else gonna be cursing. So don't be thinking you can bring your kids to it because you can't. But Kente Scott is gonna be in the building. That's what's up. I got shows all this month. So we also have Laughing in the Living Room, which is gonna be a Zoom, which is gonna be on Sunday. And you guys can log in. You can look on my Instagram. You can look on my Facebook for the information on that. It's a free community event. It's gonna be off the chain. Kente Scott is also on that one. And that's a clean Zoom that you can bring your kids to. Okay. Sure. It's not necessarily a church show or per se, but it is given by I think it's given by a church, which is from San Bernardino, and it's a clean event, a fundraiser for them, and they're taking donations from different people, but it's free to all of the community, and they're sponsored, and so it's great. And also Kev on Stage, his show is coming up as well with all the females, also promoted by African Pride, and they just are acknowledging the females and their beauty and their voices, and I appreciate that. So check out all the shows that's coming up. Check out the YouTube channel and the new song, and I guess that's what's going on.
Okay. All right. I would like to say shout outs to your family. Shout out to to all the ladies that's out there. Yes, I am taken. contrary to popular belief. Big O
They
does
looking
get
like so.
still.
That's why you by yourself.
Look,
They looking like so.
Absolutely, but
Not for real.
it's
Not
super awesome to hear you, to see you. You look. That black don't crack. I see you now. Look at that. I see you.
Yeah, people don't know how old I am.
I know it's cool. That's why I ain't gonna tell you what I want to.
Look my age. I got the sons that's 33 years old, so that means I'm at least 35. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see you. You got them at
really
3. I got
crack. It don't crack though. It don't.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully anything that I said, please, no offense by it, but at the same time, I'm glad that you're still working, producing, and everything. Yeah, and I mean, and because I know that comedians sometimes are sensitive, sensitive people, and that's what makes them funny.
I'm not. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong with me.
Black woman from Linwood, Compton, California, not sensitive.
Linwood and Compton. Represent. I love y'all. I love my city.
Yeah, sensitive. Okay, I got you. But I got all that West Coast vibe and everything. The sun surfing and all that. But when you come out to the East Coast, you're invited down here where I am. And I'm gonna make sure I show up, and that's right. And so I can come in all my, yeah. Now what's up? I'm right here, but I ain't coming to the show because I know you probably straight roast me. I'll be showing up after. Yeah, absolutely. I'm showing up after, like, this is me, Big O. Nah, yeah. You're like, oh no, sit down right here.
You've been asking all the questions, and Tanae ain't asked her question or nothing. I
was quiet.
Want to know, huh?
I was being quiet.
I just know you were into writing and screen, and you just had a movie in 2020. So what was your latest? What made you want to get into the screenplay and screenwriting?
Checks.
Actually, yeah, that's one thing. Like if you Google me, people trip out because they realize that I'm a screenwriter. It doesn't even say I'm a comedian. I've done more work behind the scenes than I've done in front of the scenes. Because I've developed and created sitcoms for a lot of people that I've written movies. A lot of the movies I've written have made over hundreds of millions of dollars for a studio.
Whoa! You made oh my God.
I didn't say I made it. I said I've written movies. I didn't say I made it.
I was about to say
that the studios have made over hundreds of millions of dollars off of scripts that I've written.
You still get residuals though, right? You still get
well, we ain't gonna get into that.
All right. My bad. Apologize. No disrespect.
For years, that's I've been the best kept secret, and a lot of my projects are going to be coming out now. And I appreciate just being able to work and be creative, and I want to encourage all the people who want to be comedians or want to be writers, or if you have an idea, if you have a great idea or you have a great story, even sharing the story of your life can make you quite a bit of money. Because people need fresh content. There's so many platforms now. There's Netflix, there's Disney Plus, there's Amazon Prime, there's Apple TV. There's so many things, and our stories need to be told. Black stories, or intertwining Black stories with other situations. People need to see our faces and hear our voices, and when we are able to do that and creatively write it down. It can be, I always say this, when you find what your niche is, that leads to your riches.
Your niches become your riches. All right, we got a new song. Your riches become
That's what I'm saying. It really does. And so we need to be proactive and being creative. We're very resourceful people. Black people are we can do so many things. We make stuff, we do hair, we do whatever, what I'm saying? We get our hustle on, and I want to encourage everybody to continue doing that. And we have so much comedy and funny stuff that's in our own lives, and we need to get out there, write it down, whether it's writing a book, I don't write books, I don't write prose, I don't like that. I do screenplays for sitcoms and screenplays for film.
So what about those people?
That's my forte. That's what I write.
So what about those people who have the ideas, they have them in their heads, they have them, but everything's at home in a book? What can you say to those people who feel kind of stuck, or, mine's not good enough, or I'm not Edwonda White, so I won't be able to do that? What about those people?
Well, I don't say that they're Edwonda White or nothing like that. I mean, they don't have to be. Like I say,
Mm-hmm.
all of your ideas have value. Even silly ideas have value. You know why? Because it's a unique idea. How many things have you seen on Instagram, YouTube, or whatever that was the stupidest thing that you ever saw in your life and it had like 20 million views?
Junebug challenge.
Yeah.
Exactly, everybody. So if that can get out there and become
Right.
something, remember that Asian dude that did Gangnam Style? Remember that thing?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
fool paid his own money, made his own video, and guess
Facts.
Yes,
what?
he did.
He
Made
got
over millions,
paid. You
He got it.
understand me?
Yes,
millions,
he
And it
did.
was,
millions,
and it was, and don't
and it
tell
went
me that was
platinum.
a good song because it wasn't. Okay.
Nope.
But guess what? He did it. He did the video. It didn't cost him that
Yes.
much to do the video. And he spent a
Right.
little money, put it out there because he just had an idea and he wanted to do a funny video. And look what happened. So if he can do it, you can do it. And don't think that your idea is dumb. And don't let nobody tell you that it is. Because,
Nobody.
like I say, who
True.
thought that hot dog on a stick was gonna be the bomb? Who somebody said that's stupid. And now it's a corn
It's not
dog.
the bomb.
Boom.
It's not the bomb.
Right.
Corn dog's not the bomb.
Well,
No,
I'm
that's
no,
not
but
the
I'm
bomb.
talking
Corn dog.
about
I like
now. I
corn
don't
dog.
eat that. I don't eat
Yeah.
that. I don't eat that.
I
But
like
I'm
corn
talking
I was
dog.
about
about
the
to say no.
idea of putting the
Right.
hot
The
dog on
idea.
that
Idea,
stick
got you.
and
Right.
dipping it in something.
And breaded.
Now you go to the fair or
Yeah.
whatever and pay $5 for one.
$5.
You know what I'm saying? For the same thing,
Facts.
that little hot dog, the pack of hot dogs costs more. The whole pack of hot dogs costs more than the corn dog when you put it in the thing. So that right there, fresh ideas is what we need. Fresh
Yeah.
energy is what we need. And your story
Mhm.
is unique because you're the only one that lived it.
So that's super
That's right.
awesome. Being a writer extraordinaire, multi-talented, and I said it before, comedians are very talented. They're multifaceted. I think Eddie Murphy's catalog, I think, is probably number 2 behind Samuel L. Jackson as far as acting. And then we have some other things, debatable. But looking at some of the accomplishments that you have, what are some of the people that you're bringing along? Because you did mention Kev on Stage. That's pretty new in the last, I want to say 6 years that I've seen visually. I'm not saying behind the screens. I don't know that. I'm just saying what I can see visually. But someone bringing on, because it seems like comedians come from a tree. So you told me about Ronaldo Ray. So he came from a tree as well, because I know we don't want to mess with him
Yeah.
in Friday. People who don't know Ronaldo Ray, he
Yeah, I
was the
know.
bellman. Yeah.
Mhm.
On Friday. So the people that you bring along, because I know you have children that are of age. Are they in the industry? Are they not? We don't have to talk about that if you don't feel comfortable.
Oh no, it's
Or
nothing that I don't feel comfortable with or whatever. I have so many friends and wonderful, amazing new comedians that I bring along. I was the founder of a company called CKE, which is Clean Comedy Explosion. And I did a show at West Angeles here, which is one of the biggest churches in LA. And I used to do once a month and I would book all the comedians. We would do different things. I made sure they were paid well, fed well. Me and my husband cooked. We would give them, soul food dinners and pay them and all kinds
Mhm.
because we love to cook it. So we give them, greens and cornbread and barbecue and everything. They be like,
okay.
ooh, I want to do your show again. You know what I'm saying? We made them casseroles and all kind of stuff, everything homemade from scratch. And to me, I love seeing new and innovative young people. And if I mess with you, I mess with you heavy. You know what I mean? I'm just that type of person because so many people help me along. Like I say, if it wasn't for, Comic View and my past manager and different people that helped me to get where I could be, then I don't know what I would have done, because I didn't really have any direction. And so I always like to see when there's a new comedian and I think they're kind of funny, I start referring them to other people. Hey, hook my boy up, do this
Right.
and that, let them get more
That's
spots
right.
to help them get booked or take them on the road, open up for me or whatever the case may be. And,
That's
I'm
right.
not saying I'm all that or nothing like that. I still have a long way to go. I'm not comparing myself to nobody. I just enjoy my life. I have a wonderful life, wonderful husband with kids, and I'm just glad to still be here. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
I think you mentioned, Yvette Wilson. It's a lot of comedians. Yvette Wilson, Simply
Oh,
Marvelous, and so many. There's so many that are, LaWanda Page and stuff like that that are no longer with us. These sisters was in a struggle doing their thing, and they're not here anymore. And so while I'm here, I'm just gonna lift up my voice, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna try to put positive energy out there. And if I can help even one person, then I feel like I did my job. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to still be working.
That's great. And I just had an idea when you said that. Clean queens of comedy. They're going to tour right there. The clean queens of comedy. So you have
we can't use that name because of licensing and I
we put clean in front of it. Just like you said,
you can't use the Queens of Comedy, period. There's only one Queens of Comedy. No, you'd have to name it something else. There's only one Queens of Comedy. You can't. Okay, you said that's a whole nother name. Okay. That's just like right now, your name is Big O. If I want to create a cereal called Big O's and put a Z on it, then that's not the same name. Okay. True. But the Queens of Comedy and Kings of Comedy is a franchise that was created by, and that brand needs to be respected. You can't just pop something in front of it and say blue Queens of Comedy, red Kings of Comedy, happy Kings of Comedy. Queen, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? People be bootlegging and doing that stuff, but you can't. The brand belongs to them. It was their thing. Yes. That's just like me to say new KROSS BARZ. Oh, mine's is new KROSS BARZ.
Only one KROSS BARZ.
KROSS BARZ. No, there's only one KROSS BARZ. Don't play with me.
That's right.
Okay. Now, if it's the name of a song, there's a song called Love. There's 50 titles with a song called Love. You can Google if you want to. No one has a copyright on the word love. Okay.
Gotcha.
See what I mean? So there can be 50 titles. And when you come to my song, Ain't No Joke. My song is Ain't No Joke. Their song is I Ain't No Joke. When you look it up, you have to type in the word I. The word Ain't No Joke. You have to type in the word I, which means that it's under I. When you type in ours, you have to type in the word A because it's under A, which
I got you. McDonald's, McDowell's.
Itself is not a brand.
McDonald's, McDowell's. I do understand.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
Anyway, and that's why you by yourself, ma'am. See, ma'am. That's your problem. That's your problem, man. That's your problem, man. That's why you go.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm an 8 and I'm a 4. Oh, I got you.
All right.
So yeah.
Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up on that note. We had a good time this evening, Miss White. I really, really appreciate you hanging out with us on KROSS BARZ, sticking in there with us with KROSS BARZ, and just much success, much blessings on everything that you have coming to you. We want to wish you that, Big O. What do you want to leave us with, Big O? What do you have anything to say?
Man, listen.
I'm sure he does.
Number one, got a little nervous when they said her name because I was like, okay, she's someone I kind of grew up on, so a little starstruckish. That's why I was like,
you don't even look that young though. College, you saw me in college.
Yo, I thought it was going to be a compliment. That was just straight backhand. Like you don't even.
No, it wasn't. No, but I'm talking about
I said,
you make it seem like you was a little boy. Like I saw you when you was 3. Well, we looked the same age.
The cable cord connected to the TV when I saw you. It was like you used to push the buttons on.
Today, he trying to act like he was 3. You weren't 3.
Sure was.
Anyway, look at our faces. Look at our faces. We look the same age. I don't know what you talking about. But anyway, I like that. I like your beard though. Your beard gang. I see what you doing with your little swag. Trying to come in here trying to be all sexy and stuff. Talking about how you doing this, Big O. Anyway, that's why you by yourself, ma'am. That's why you by yourself, ma'am.
You can't be doing that. You pick me up and you put me down. But
no, I'm messing with you.
But I'm definitely proud to have you, starstruck. Thank you for even allowing us to interview you because at times you have so much to offer. I knew some of the stuff you did because I was like, I'm the person that read credits, so I kind of know it's like, oh, that person was in. They was in delivery. They was in this stretch. Yeah, I watched stuff to the end, and that's why I'm always big fans of many comedians because, like I said before, guys are multi-talented, and I try to figure out because one thing I did not know, I wanted to ask you. I didn't know what tree you came from because most of the time I'd be like, oh, he came from that tree. Dave Chappelle, he came from the Eddie Murphy tree, who came from Richard Pryor tree. So now it's like, okay, he came from a different tree. Now, maybe older, like past the 60s, I don't know. because some of the stuff is jumbled together. But I like to say thank you. Thank you for just dealing with a small podcast, a person like myself. I'm trying to make sure.
We're gonna be big one day, though.
No. We already big. You got big
small, Big O. There are no small podcasts because guess what? You guys have your voice, and I'm so glad that I'm able to be here with you guys. I'm glad that I got the call, and I just love what you guys are doing, and I wish you the best. And you know I'll be messing with you, Big O, but that's because I love you, man, and
absolutely.
I love y'all. And that's how I do. You know what I'm saying? If I like somebody, I'll mess with them and stuff. Just be talking crazy stuff, you know. And that's why you by yourself.
That's right. That's why I'm by myself.
That's why you by yourself, man.
And now the bad part is people gonna say that to me. But what I'm also saying, you have a supporter, because I like to say, like, you know, people can have different things out, but I would love to always make sure that I'm supporting what you do. So yes, when you see the Facebook request, please don't deny me. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and request you. You know what I mean? Start following Instagram, see pictures of the family looking. I don't really comment too much. Like, I'm just being honest, because I don't comment on comedians because y'all kind of different wit, and then you know sometimes it cut a little deep. So I'll be like, you know what, I'm stalking you. I'm fine.
Feelings be hurtful, baby.
You gonna stalk me? He said he gonna stalk me without leaving no comment.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying because you
don't know how to stalk people. Then
look, I'm sitting there.
That's why you by yourself, ma'am.
See? There we go.
You don't know how to stalk right. You better learn how to stalk first.
My stalk game is horrible.
Comment if you stalking.
And they look like you ain't see me. Like, no.
Jay Tanae, where you get him from? Where you get him? Y'all let him out.
Hey, my husband Malik Brown. Shout out to Malik, my husband. He the one. He's been talking to you on the phone. Him and Big O are friends, and so that's how I met. You know, this guy right here.
Absolutely.
Man.
Oh, listen.
That's how I got one too, because of Malik. Shout out to Malik and your uncle Willie Brown. That's what's up.
Willie Brown in the
my
building.
Friends. So so I'm glad. I'm just disappointed that the stuff that we were talking about when we were off camera, that we couldn't have had that little juicy tidbit on.
We got some juicy stuff in there.
We had some good stuff. And I love you guys, and thank you for having me at Edwonda White at Edwonda's World. If y'all want to follow me on Instagram,
I'm about to follow you.
All right, thank you so much. And we're headed off across bars, y'all.
And don't be hiding all the pictures either.
I ain't gonna hide the cross bars in the building. I love y'all.
Cross bars, KROSS BARZ. We got bars.
Bars.